everybody, back again. It's Imbolc. I guess you don't know what this, some of you might know what it is. So, I made a video earlier that just kind of talked about the general holiday spiel about Imbolc or Midwinter or whatever. A little thing on the altar. Now I want to talk about crafting and something that you can do for this holiday, and then also a little bit of magic. These are both things that you can do with the whole family. If you have kids, or if you're just a grown-up and you're making things for your altar. So today is dedicated to the goddess Brigid. She's one of the goddesses that is honored today as a fire goddess and a transformation goddess. So in her mythology, before she became the saint, she was mother, maiden, and crone, and throughout the year she would transition, and she would come and visit your house throughout the year. So at this time, she comes and visits in her elderly state to bless your home as a grandmother would bless a home. And then she receives the blessings that you leave out for her and transforms into the Virgin Vesta, also associated with that, the Virgin Brigid, the young, youthful goddess. And so that's something that's happening at this time. And depending on what mythology you follow or pantheon or belief or what you believe, for that matter, for some people this is like an instant thing. Today the goddess goes from, today she's a crone, tomorrow she's a maiden. For other people it's more of a transition, like a longer transition. So for me, she became the mother fully engulfed in motherhood when she gave birth on Yule. She then spends from Yule to now as that mother and growing and nurturing and maturing, and she gets here and now she's the crone, and so she'll be the crone for a while. And as spring comes, she's making that transition, and by the time we get to spring, she has emerged as the virgin, youthful maiden goddess. And by virgin I mean literally, but also I mean figuratively, as like pure and innocent, and strong and powerful. I think we forget about that half of the definition when we go back to the ancient use of the word. So one of the things that is done to honor Brigid and the goddesses of this time is that you leave out offerings, you leave out clothes, food, something for them, as they're traveling. And then you can make a Brigid's Cross. So traditionally they were made out of reeds, like from next to the waterway or a holy well. Pause, I have some. Well, hello again. Okay, so here, I keep a bunch of it when I find it. I see it on the side of the road, next to ditches. It's a weed. It's called horse grass or reed grass. And this one's really dry. It's from last year. But you see it green. It grows pretty much all year. The cool thing about it, if I can rip it, one, it's really strong, but it's hollow, so that's why it's reed grass. So you would go out and collect this now. You would find it now, fresh growing or whatever, and you so this is really dry, so it wouldn't work for this project. But if it was wet and fresh, you would be able to fold it in half to make what we're going to make here. And I'm going to show you how to do this. But traditionally you would use something like this. You would use a reed grass. If you collect it while it's still green, sometimes they'll even stay green, which is really nice. Like if you put it in a room with the dehumidifier and it takes the moisture out before it dries, it'll stay green, and then you get a green one. You can make them out of grass. You can make them out of something like this. You could make them out of like wheat, which is also a grass, or other long-stemmed plants. You could probably even do like some really long pine needles if you got them real wet, and soaked them so that they were more pliable. And then you could do this. So for me personally in the household, my kids each make one. We leave them out, and then they hang them in their room as a blessing over their bed to help them through the year. And we do ours kind of color-coded. So I have them pick a bright color, a warm color, a fall color, and a winter color. So we have spring, and then we'll rotate it for summer, and then fall, and then winter. And it kind of transitions us through the 4 quarters of the year. And especially for the kids, it helps them to see the energy changing. Like, okay, now we're going into this new season. I think for grown-ups and like in your own practice, it helps because you can use a different color for whatever it's associated. And I keep it in my altar. I have a vase that I put it in, and I keep, so we're still in winter, so it has the purple side up, and it sits like that in my little vase. And it's just there as a representation of the energy and what power is ruling right now. But you can do it however you want. You could do yours all one color. You could do it green. You could do it with ribbons in it. We've put bells on them before because I have 3 kids and I like do it and then help them do it. Mine are always really simple. Like, bam, this is what I'm asking for. I braided mine ends because I liked the way that it looked. You don't have to braid your ends. You could leave them long. You can do yours as wide, like a big square. And I've also seen them to where they leave the center. I could almost do it with this one. So they leave the center open. So there's like a hole in the middle. So really it just depends on what calls to you and how it works for you. It's a symbol of the energies that come together, the opposites, and both of each season, of each energy of the gods, and of like all of the energies of Brigid and that triple goddess coming together, or the triple goddess coming together to you, and bringing that energy in, is kind of some of that symbology. There are people who say it has to do with the elements and the different directions. Again, when you're making this, whatever you're thinking at that time is the energy that you're put into it. So when I put on the yellow, I thought about spring. When I put on the red, I thought about summer, and just the energies and the blessings that I would want to call upon. And then that's what we ask to be blessed by Brigid, or any other crone goddess that you would welcome to your home. We'll probably welcome the grandmother spider goddess. Who knows? We'll see how I feel later and whose energy I feel in the house when we're doing the blessing. But so to make one, I went and got one of these fancy bags of whatever pipe cleaners. I really like using pipe cleaners. I think that they're colorful, they're easy to use. It doesn't make a huge mess all over the place. I don't have to use any glue. I don't need extra twine. Just in the pipe cleaners, I have everything that I need. So you pick 4 colors. I am only doing this for example for you guys, so I'm gonna just pull out some random colors. I kind of like that. Gold and green and black and white. Oh, it's crazy. Okay, so you're gonna take your pipe cleaners. You're gonna take all of them and fold them in half. You don't, I mean, you could do it as you go or whatever. So you fold them all in half. And once you have them folded in half, you take one. So I have the 2 halves with the V at the top. And I'm going to take one from my white one. I'm going to put it into this so that they're interlocked with each other. And then I'm actually going to keep it at this 90-degree angle so that it's coming across like that. And then you'll take another one and fold it in half. Think about the balance and the duality and the things coming together, you know, harvesting and blessing and all that stuff. So you continue on like that as long as you want it to be. Now, if you want a hole in the center, I think that you would leave it over some and leave some space right here, because then that'll create your hole right here in the middle. So then we are going to take our next piece, and say I put on a bunch. We're going to take our next piece and we are going to place it over all of those ones that we just added. See why I folded ahead of time? Because you're not fighting it like this. It'll fold it more perfectly. So we're going to pull it across and like this and cover all of them. And continue on like that. And once you feel like you have enough in that direction, rotate it again 90 degrees and add another one, covering the ones that you just added and going around until you have all 4. Now, you can also do it so that they're more interwoven. Maybe you're not looking to use yours as a seasonal thing. Maybe yours is more of a, all of the energies coming together in the center. In which case, you wouldn't want to do all one color. You would want to alternate. You'd want to rotate, like go through them. So I took off the black. We'll put on a gold one, make it easier. Okay, so now we have all of our one in each direction. So then I'm going to start back at the beginning with my gold and put that over the pink. Should move the camera down. Put it over the pink so that it's like that. And then we add another white one. Going down in this direction. And you continue to work your way out that way. Now, the difference that's going to be in your end design that I think is just something that's pertinent to know ahead of time is, so on this one, you see how it's all the red, all the orange, all the purple, all the yellow. When you make it this way, you can already kind of start to see how it's coming out. So you can see orange then white, and then you can see the green, and you'll see the different colors. So it'll be more of a woven when they come together. And there'll be more weaving in the middle, and it'll be less chunky. You could also do it all in one color, in which case just go around until, so it starts there, until it comes out like this. And then once it's as big a square as you want it to be, you can add ribbons. You can just use the pipe cleaners to tie it off. If you're using grasses, you can use another soft piece of grass to wrap around it. And add bells or any kind of decorations or charms that you wish to use to encourage that kind of blessing throughout the year. And again, while you're making it, you think about what you're adding. This year, maybe you want to add prosperity. Maybe there's 4 things you want to bring into your life. Maybe it's prosperity, so you'll use green, and love, so you use pink. Power, so you'll use the gold, and purity, so you use the white. Totally just made that up, but maybe those are the things that you're trying to bring in. So then you make one of these, and you think that while you're making it. Every time you add a gold one, I would like to have more power in my life. And every time you add a white one, I want it to be pure and innocent and true, even though I'm having this power. So that way you're not, whatever. Think about balance. Think about whatever it is. And then tonight, leave it out on your altar, or tomorrow night, depending on when you celebrate the holiday. Leave it out on your altar with a little offering for Brigid or any goddess that you're welcoming into your home. Vesta is honored at this time. I got a whole list. But we'll go over that in the correspondence video, so you'll have to check that out. Sorry, there's just so much information for me to put into one place. I'm trying to break it up. So this is the crafting and magic one. So Brigid Crosses are great for this time of year. It's a fun activity, like I said, for you and your kids or you and your family. It's super easy and cheap. Like pipe cleaners, this bag cost me $1 at Walmart. It was easy. So the next one is just a fun, since this is the time of initiations, I kind of referenced this in my earlier video, but to make your own Wheel of the Year. It doesn't have to look like this. It can be any circle. We keep them in a circle because it's a reminder that it's a cycle. Every year is a cycle. We're always going to come back. If you feel stuck, maybe you need to change something in your cycle so that you're spiraling. So making a Wheel of the Year, this is a great time to do that because it's initiations, it's beginning, and you're starting something new. I've had this for a couple years now. I love it. My daughter made it. It's beautiful. So that's just what I keep. You can make a new one each year. It can be a Book of Shadows entry. It can be something like this that you put on your altar next to your pentagram. Or you can do something even more grand where you pick out stones for each holiday and create a stone Wheel of the Year. You could use plants or something from a plant, like a pine cone or a seed or whatever, and something that represents each holiday, and to put it in a circle. You could make a collage. There's lots of different ways to represent that. What's important is that you're making a circle and that you have the 8 holidays. So I just, in my brain, I have a friend and she's a heathen and she doesn't practice the holidays. She celebrates the full moons. So you could do yours as the full moons. It doesn't have to be this. If you don't celebrate the 8 Sabbaths and you celebrate the 12 full moons, then yours should have 12 spokes on it. And your moons are gonna kind of correlate in the same way. You know, when you're doing your final end of the season toast, it's gonna correlate to the other side where it's your high spring energetic kind of toast, because the wheel is circular, the year is circular. June and January line up on the circle. And that just kind of helps you to get the idea. Yours could be both. You could go really in depth. You could do the 8 spokes with the wheel of the year, and then you could put in your full moons, which, by the way, that is a great way to show when a true blue moon comes. Like this year, in August, we'll have an extra full moon because you'll have 4 spokes, 4 moons in between one season instead of just 3. So that kind of shows that importance of it. So like you think about the ancestors whose whole job was to make this wheel of the year every year. That's what they did. Somebody in the village looked at the stars and counted the days and did the measuring and did all of that stuff and was like, okay, this is when the moons are coming. This is when the Sabbaths are coming. This is when our holy days are coming. This is when our planting days are coming, our crop, whatever, all of that was on their wheel of the year. And so that somebody did that. Probably a group of somebodies, like a whole temple of somebodies. Now it's so easy. You just Google, go to timeanddate.com and tell you whatever time and date you want. Or download a cool correspondence sheet or a list or whatever. They're everywhere. So making a wheel of the year and having that information so that you're prepared and know what's going on. I personally include the retrogrades in my annual calendar like that. When I'm writing them all down, getting it out. That way I know, okay, so here we have Mercury retrograde. Okay, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Mercury are going to be in retrograde at the same time. This is going to be an intense couple days. Those are important notes to me. So just think about those things that are important to you and then add them into your wheel of the year. So the last activity is a ritual, a magic ritual to bless new seeds. Again, this is something that can be done as a whole family. It doesn't have to be just you or whatever. It could be you and your spouse, you and your friends, you and your kids, or just you, whoever it may be. But it's just a simple spell. So the theme of the spell is... There's so much. So one of the principles of this holiday is that a lot of the energy is brewing underground. Milk comes from inside the animal, person, whatever, the mammal, and the seeds are growing under the ground. The roots are growing under the ground. All of this energy is happening. It's just not where you can quite see it. When you look outside, it looks dead and sad and cold. But really, there's so much life happening. You hear the birds returning. When I did my morning greeting this morning, I could hear new birds chirping outside, which is always exciting. They were singing, and it was, it was fun. So you're starting to see these early signs and this waking up, but the energy is still kind of hidden. So this is when we bless our seeds. Seeds are that hidden energy. They have so much potential wrapped up in these little packages. So this is a great time to bless them. If you're starting plants that take a long time, like for here, and we have a short growing cycle, so we start our tomatoes and stuff like that early inside, so I can get them outside. They can grow ridiculously big, and I get lots of tomatoes earlier in the season. So things like that can be done now, or it can just be a seed blessing. So it doesn't have to be completely practical. It can just be fun. You can plant flowers in your house. You can plant sunflowers, since we're calling to the sun's return, and include that in it. But blessing these seeds. So for the spell, what you need is a medium to large terracotta pot. And by large, I mean a gallon. Something that you can easily carry, but not one of the teeny tiny ones. You need some Sharpies and pens to decorate. Maybe paint if you have paint. But Sharpies and pens. You need dirt, and you can use some pieces of paper maybe if you're going to, and that's for writing your intentions. You might need a pen to write your intentions. You'll need a candle, some crushed leaves or other things, eggshells, things to add nutrients and feed that. You'll need the seeds, obviously, and then you'll need a little bit of milk and water. So to begin Get everybody together if you're doing this with your family. If it's just you, just ground, center, think about what you're doing. Focus your intent. If it's with a group of people, your coven, your family, talk about what we're going to do this year, what our goals are, and what kind of blessings that you're asking for. So then you can set up your altar space, get everybody together. When you're grounding with like small kids, sometimes it's easier to do like a chant. So an idea is, here I stand and here I ground, my hands stretched out, but still earthbound. And you can just say that over and over again with your kids, and they'll say it with you. And it kind of grounds their energy. It helps them focus. It helps everybody center. If you're just doing it by yourself, do your thing. Ground, center, go through your thing. Call corners. So call to the elements, call to the energies. If you work with the fairies, you could welcome in the fairies. If you work with a specific deity, call in the deities. If you're honoring Brigid at this time, let Brigid know, call her into your circle, whatever it may be, whoever. So then take the Sharpies and everybody decorate your pot with your intentions. If you read runes, draw your runes. If you're into tarot, write the tarot card. If you just have some words or a bind rune or a sigil or whatever it is that you have or use in your practice, put that on the side. If you're looking for prosperity, put a prosperity rune on there. Make a bind rune. If you're looking for protection or something new, it doesn't have to be new growth. It could be just prosperity. It could be just protection. It could be just good health. Whatever it is your magical intent. And put that on the outside of the terracotta pot. Decorate it and think about it. Talk about it. Really get into it. Really decorate it. The more energy you put into it, the more energy you'll get out of it. So once the pot's decorated, you add your dirt. Then you add your eggshells or your dried leaves or whatever natural compost that you want to add. When you're doing magic, always go natural. Try to avoid all of the chemical stuff, even if it says organic. So funny, I was buying fertilizer for my garden, and the name of the product was organic. So I was like, oh, I'll read over the instruction, but this is perfect. It's organic. It wasn't. It just had the name organic. It's such a lie. So then you fill the pot halfway, add your stuff, put in your seeds. When you put in the seeds, say, I plant these seeds to bring protection. I plant these seeds to bring success. I plant these seeds to whatever. Be specific. If you're doing it with a bunch of people, they can each add a seed. If you're doing it with, your kids, they can all help you. However you work that out, everybody put it in there. And then you can add ash. That's another great natural compost. A little bit of ash, dirt, eggshells, dry goods. You don't want to put like lettuce in there. You want it to be like dried leaves that they picked up out of the garden, whatever. And you put all of that in there. You put some dirt on top. Pat. You'll see it in a lot of videos when you're talking to pagans about spring and this time from here until after Ostra. We do a lot of earth pounding. Pat the ground 3 times. Bang your staff on the ground. Lots of different things like that. And what you're doing is you're sending that vibrational frequency into the earth to wake the earth, to rejuvenate that, to bring that energy to you, to like direct it right here, bam, 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 right here, come here. So do that on your pot. You pat it 3 times and state your intent again. And then mix the milk and water together. I would do a ratio of like 3/4 cup water, 1/4 cup milk. And then pour that over your seeds. And again, think about the nourishing and growth powers that this has for the plant to help everything just kickstart and grow. And then place it in a window or somewhere it's going to get sun, and that's special, that you're not going to forget about it. Don't put it in a window you never go to, like the kids' back room where they never see anything. You're like, this will be a great way. No, put it somewhere that it's easy to see and that you can come back to. I have a lot of people comment, they're like, oh, seed magic never works for me. Part of seed magic is that you have to come back to it. You can't, it's not a set it and forget it. It's a set it and come back to it and nurture it and grow this. That's why they're really good for growth spells. That's why they're really good for protection spells and different stuff like that. So you can pick anything, but just know that it's great for growth spells. So watered it, did all the things, placed it in a place where you can come back to it. And every week, come back to it, water it, love it, check on it, talk about it, talk to it, be with it, and then it will be more successful. So, and obviously when you're done, when you put it in its place, say thank you to all of the elements that you called and the energies and all of that stuff. And then normally we go feast, personally. But it can be anything you want. So, again, this is a great time for initiations and blessings and cleansings and all of that kind of new things. The things that you do behind the scenes that help you succeed. So, many blessings to you. I hope that you have a crafty Imbolc or Midwinter or Groundhog's Day or who knows. We'll go over some more names of it later. Hopefully I can make one more video. It'll be all about the mythology from around the world in different cultures, holidays that they celebrate at this time. Because it's not just those three, those two, those one, whatever. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you have a great day.